Okay, this is the before. Tiling under your cabinet bottom. Tiling your cabinet bottom. Or never replace your cabinet bottom again. Before, I'm going to show you how to lay this out and how this works and the process of how you cut your tile, because I'm going to have to cut this border strip right here, okay, that you see laying across the back. All right, so now let's take a look at the after. This is the after, the finish. All right, I have painted my walls in here the same color as the walls in the bathroom, same color. All right, now the flooring, this tile is the same flooring you see here, all right? And I put this inside here. You'll never replace your bottom of this cabinet ever again. The bottom of your vanity cabinet will never be replaced. Now, see the borders, okay? I will show you how to take your tile and cut the borders. These are 3.5 inch borders, okay? And I've taken paint. All right, on this edge was gray. That was a gray edge. All right, it's no longer gray. And I used this paint right here, okay, to do it with. And it came out really good. It's a slight textured, but you don't even really notice it. It just matches this tile really well, okay? So now, let's do this, and I will show you how to cut this curbing, all right, the border here. I'm calling that curbing. Okay, as you see, I have silicone around the bottom, all the way around, inside and out. All right, and this is 2 pieces here. First piece, you can barely see that joint there, but I've used this 100% silicone, all right, for the joints. You could also use it to glue down, to hold down your tile, all right? Now, what I did use is this Lexel. Okay, you can get it from Amazon. Sash Co. is the people that actually make this, all right? And they use this in log homes. This is waterproof. It's paintable. It doesn't yellow. You can put it under water after 2 weeks after it's cured. This is amazing product right here. Lowe's is supposed to sell it. Just call in, double check. Ace is supposed to sell it. Call in, double check. You can definitely get it online. It's about $13, unfortunately. Price has gone up. All right, so no further ado, let's show you how to do this. All right, I'm going to show you how I cut this strip out of one of these large format tiles, okay? So let's do this. All right, after I get these cut, all right, I'm going to paint this edge. I'm going to show you how I went about painting the edge, and how I'm going to lay this out and how I'm going to install this in that process. So let's stay tuned and let me know what you think. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. Feel free to ask. This is Home Improvement Tips, and I'm Ken. Okay, now we're going to cut these strips. This is how I lay it out. Okay, this is my wet saws table, and this is the fence here. All right, so I've got this tile I'm going to use for my material. All right, here. All right, I'm going to lay this up here against it. All right, and now I'm going to pull this back against the fence. All right, I'm going to get this on the same on the sides. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to square this up so I know it's smooth here, it's even on the back, it's even on the ends. All right, it's all lined up. Now I'm going to take this is packing tape. I find it works really well. Okay, I'm going to put about 2 or 3 inches on this top, rub it in, make sure it's stuck real well. All right, double check, make sure I'm still even. All right, and I'm going to bring it underneath. Okay, make sure that this is stuck down really well. All right. Okay, now. All right, now we're going to do the other side. Okay. Okay, so let's get this where you can, on what we're working on here. Okay, now again, make sure we're even, make sure this is even, everything's flush. Okay, rub this on, bring this down, I'm pulling it down tight, I'm pulling it over tight. All right, rubbing this in, making sure it's sticking well, top and bottom. All right, this is critical because we don't want this to move while cutting. All right, now I am going to tape one more on the back side here. That's going to come across it here. Okay, so don't forget to fold your end over because this will stick and be hard to get a hold of. Okay, just going to fold that over after you cut it. All right, now all right, going to bring this down tight across the back. Make sure all this is nice and snug. All right, now it's kind of tricky. All right. Now there's another way to do this, is that you set this up like this, take a pencil and mark it along this edge, completely cross this. You take this off, you strip off, you take polyurethane or clear coat, all right, and then you just spray your pencil line all the way across. You let it dry. Sometimes you can use a blow dryer, speed up the drying process if it's cold, and then you cut the line carefully. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'll show you how I do this. This is going to be difficult, a little frustrating. Okay, as you see, my tile is longer than what it's able to cut. I'll pull this back. All right, now this is the way you'll understand. Sometimes, all right, you end up in a situation where your tile saw, it's difficult to cut. All right, so let's zoom in here. All right, the blade, where does that blade start? Let's offset the angle here. All right, now you can see, have it at a better view. All right, now your tile goes up against your fence, okay, this is your fence right here, and that's what holds your tile in place. Okay, so if I can't put it against this, see if I got it against the blade where it's going to be cutting, all right, then it's not going to be against the fence right here where I need it. So I'm going to have to think about what I'm doing, outsmart it. Now I've got to move it forward, all right, because this fence holds it. Here's your fence. This fence holds it straight, okay, so it doesn't move. All right, you see that. All right, so what we have to do is we have to take this, get this lined up here, right where we want to cut it. I'm going to have to hold down here at the front and then raise the tile into the blade, all right? But we need it anchored, see, because it's too long. So I've got to pull this back against the fence where it barely touches the fence. Okay, now let's take a look at the blade so you can see. All right, And you see that there's a gap right here, all right? Otherwise, so I got to hold that. And you see this lip right here, that's got to be flat in order for this to come together. And cut this, all right? But I don't want to cut into this piece, and that can be a little tricky. All right, that's why I'll mark it with the pencil, spray it with the poly, remove this pattern, and you don't have that risk. But I'm not able to do that at this time, so you're gonna watch and see how I get this accomplished. All right, now let's do this. All right, got to get it just barely touching the blade, barely. All right, now I got to get this lined up here. All right, get that where it's going to go right down against it, right here at this juncture. Okay, now I got to pull up on the front as I go to cut. All right, so I'm going to drop this down just a little bit so it's not touching the blade. All right, I got to prime the pump. The pump needs water in it, so I will prime the pump. And you do that by pulling the tube off of the pump. Okay, right here. I'm going to pull this tube off. I'm going to put water in the tube, and then that will allow for priming the pump. All right, so just take this off of here. All right, let's get this done in here, get some water in it. All right, now there's water in here. I can also kind of do this. Get this in here, don't raise it out of the water. Get that down here. There it goes. All right, now all goes well, and it should. It will start spraying water. So let's check this out and find out. All right. All right, let's see. Once you start priming anytime. Okay, it's starting to do its thing. It's going to take a minute to get it primed. All right, it's just about ready. Here we go. There it is. Now you can see what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to bring it just about to the blade. Get this lined up against the fence. All right. Now that's right where I want it. I'm just going to drop it down just enough so that it doesn't touch the tile before it starts cutting. We want a space. Okay. Okay, and that's how you book match your tiles. So you can see this did come off. That's why it's so important having the other pieces and holding it tight. All right. Now I barely grazed this edge. Now you see the gray. So we're going to paint this gray. All right, with that paint. And I'll show you how that works. Now I'm going to do that again. All right. Okay, I've cut all three. All right. I've got them all bookmarked. Okay. I'll use the other two to line it up. And now let's go install. Use a squeegee or a rag to wipe these down. Don't drip water all over someone's house. And if or your wife will get at home, she'll get upset with you. Make sure you squeegee them or dry them off. All right, so I'm just going to put like a little dab here on the corner. All right. And up here at the other corner. Okay. I'm going to come back to another one. All right, you want to catch it in the middle. Little dab will do ya. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and catch it over here on the end. Okay. Now I'm also going to be using 100% silicone as well because I'm running out of this Lexel. I just wanted you to see how I applied it. I'm going to take it, I'm going to slide this piece down a little bit and then to the side. That way it smears it and it really gives it a good bond. All right, and that's anytime you're doing this or anything like this. All right. All right, now I'm going to use this paint. All right. Now I'm just coming from the back side and coming down at an angle. Okay, as you see it coloring the edge. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. Okay. Nice, and it blends in really well. But what I notice on the edge, it gets a little build up right on the edge. So I find if you just kind of rake it down across the edge, it smooths it out and it blends it in on this tile. All right, there we go. Now, you don't see the paint edge at all here. All right, there it is. Okay, it's like almost a perfect match. So I went from this, okay, to this. Revived. All right. Okay, now I'm just going to show you this here, how I go about. Make sure you shake the can, get that, keep it mixed up. And I'm coming down at an angle. And I check my edge. It's going to need another coat. Okay, I don't know how well you can see that edge, but it needs a little more. Okay, I'm coming down at an angle. There we go. Now it's nice and solid all the way across. And now what I'm going to do, like I did on the last one, I'm just going to rake it down all the way across on the edge. Just slightly catch the edge and rake it downward. That way it blends it and you don't see a paint edge on all the way across. All right, now we're going to set this down and do the third one. Coming down from the top and across it at an angle. All right, you can see here on that edge, I finally see the gray underneath. All right, so it takes 2-3 coats. Yes, that looks good. All right, one more time. Just gonna rake this down across this edge, all the way across, catching the corner of it, and just slightly raking downward. Okay, beautiful. All right. This is on Ken. This is Home Improvement Tips.
There.
All right, now I've got it up off the floor about a 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to press to the wall. I'm going to take it down. All right, I'm going to slide it one way and then to the other. Okay. All right. Now, I put this side in, all right, as a spacer. I'm going to put this other one in. All right. Now, I'm going to have to go cut it to length. I'm turn these backwards so that you can see them and they'll stand out. I should have had some short ones, some trim. All right, some short pieces to put in here, but I didn't do. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting this balanced out here. All right. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to mark this right here where it needs to be cut. Then I'm going to take off about 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch more. That way I have a little bitty plate that'll, if I take off 1/4 of an inch more, that'll give me an 1/8 inch of space on the back and an 1/8 inch space on the front. Okay, so if I take off 3/16, that'll give me 1/8 and a 32nd of space in the front and 1/8 and a 32nd in the back. All right, and I may just take off 1/8. So that's how I like to do my adjustments.
What did you do?
Okay, now you see that here's my first line right here. All right, and this is over about almost 3/16 of an inch. All right, and I'm going to cut it on this second line right here. All right, now I'm going to take the speed square. All right, I'm going to slide it right up here, and I'm going to mark it right there. Right there, like that, right there. All right, now. Okay. I'm going to mark this carefully, lightly. Okay, now I'm going to take this poly. Okay. And take this can of polyurethane right here. We're going to spray it. Now, that will lock that in there. Okay. And you'll be able to cut it and it won't wash the pencil line off. Okay. Now, I've sprayed that with poly. Okay, maybe you can see it's reflective a little bit. Looks a little wet compared to this over here. Now, I'll blow hot air on it. Or I'll use a blow dryer to dry that real quick. All right. All right, now we're going to cut right here. Just a little bit of the pencil line past the blade. Okay, just a hair, a smidge. It moved on me. All right, now I cut two at one time. All right, I cut two of these at one time. Let's go put them in.
Alright.
All right, moment of truth. Is it going to fit? You always want to dry fit. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Now, will the other one fit? That's the question.
Alright.
Moment of truth. Will this fit? Let's see. Dry fitting first. Nice. Now I can glue it. Easy 2 tips and tricks. Tell a friend. It's a win-win. Let's get this glued. All right. Did you do that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. One or the other. Okay. All right. Now. All right, I'm spraying the front of this edge. All right, right at the edge of the cabinet. All right. Okay. All right. This piece is the second piece that goes in. And I'm going to have to cut this a little bit deeper. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, finished product. Okay, this is Home Improvement Tips, aka Easy 2 Tips and Tricks, where you see everything up close and personal. I've got a little cleanup to do, but as you see, the floor tile, the same as the tile in the cabinet, same color as the walls. And tell me what you think. How do you like this? All right. Remember, like, share, subscribe.